knows? Probably going to be me. All right, guys. Episode 12 of the Blueprint Academy, hot off the press, and I think critical for us to discuss is large language models, their place in drawing QC, and this definitely stems from the Blueprint beta. Oh, is that the Blueprint? The Bluebeam beta that was released. Was it like last week, Brian, or something?
Yeah, it's fairly recent.
You sent some videos. I think it might be worth playing one, actually, if you guys are open to it.
Sure.
And then that way we can have. Sit here. Hang on a second. Here, let's play one. I think that's kind of like, it'd be fun. So let's kind of crank up the speed here. So effectively, Brian, I think that the way that this works is you load a page. You'd like to kind of get familiar with the prompt or with the document, and then you start to prompt it.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, it's pretty much I think they wanted us to. It's a, like you mentioned, it's a beta, so they want us to treat it like we're talking to the set of plans, if you will, and it seemed to understand that pretty well. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is, first of all, the speed is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
There's a back-end process here called model context protocol, which effectively means like Bluebeam or whatever is like it already pre-extracts all the text, it gets that ready, and then that's what's fed into the LLM to enable some of that speed. What kind of questions were you asking it?
Some of the things, it's the questions I was asking are a lot along the lines of what we're solving right now, such as just complete details, right? That's from our experience, that's extremely difficult, to have that fully automated. And unfortunately, the set that you run in only had like 20 callouts. It wasn't a massive callout heavy set, but to your point, it did zip through them pretty dang quickly to just confirm that something was there that appeared to be accurate. I don't remember what other prompt I put in there, but that sounds about right. I think because I only have the free trial of Claude, I ran out of information I could feed it. It timed out on me, so.
Yeah, I think that like a couple of threads to pull on there for sure. One is kind of low noise. That probably was pretty good in text extraction. We tried a whole bunch of stuff on our own as well, separately to this. And then the other thing is like the input output tokens. That's what, that's effectively what you're buying and
sure.
How fast they get consumed. Like I couldn't upload anything bigger than a 31 megabyte file.
So small.
Like, yeah, that was like 30 pages or something like that. So it's like okay for a small project. I was still, again, very impressed with it. I spoke with a mate of mine that was trying to train some core systems for advertising, and he said something that really stuck with me, which was like something along the lines of if I thought everything that I did was right, but was actually wrong, you guys would probably call me delusional. And he said that's how he feels LLMs operate, that they're optimized for like dopamine output. Mm-hmm. Meaning that that what it seeks to do is validate everything that it does is correct, even when it's obviously wrong. And so that's how I felt when I did it. I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so right. And then I looked into it. I was like, oh, this set has no, like I upload like an Australian set, but that doesn't have like the A, S, MEPF kind of nomenclature. And it just said that that's what it said. It was like, oh, there's no, like on A101, like all the callouts are like this. I was like, but there's no A101 this set. Mm-hmm. That it was so confident.
That's quite interesting because I think, even when you ask ChatGPT a question about making your dinner, puts you as, that's a great idea. And then you read it and you go, no, I don't think that's right. And it goes, yeah, you're right. And I think that there's going to be a problem here if, we get this false hope and false confidence straight off the bat about, these plans being right. And then these contractors are going to come into these plans and go, actually, this is totally wrong. It's going to really destroy the confidence of AI in checking for issues in construction plan really fast. So I think this will be interesting. It will either be a bit of a make or break, I believe. Like, I hope this doesn't hallucinate too much and make people lose confidence in the technology and the way that it's progressing.
Yeah, I agree with you, Harry. Even our early on partners, they're using us and they've made it our standard operating procedure to go through us, but yet they still have to check all the results, right? We're not there yet, and that's just as a culture. We're not. I don't think it's a lack of confidence in what we're doing, but it's just trusting what the results are from whatever they use, right? And I have the same feelings, even if it's as I was using that beta that Chris showed the video on, I'm still checking the results too, and I still will until that confidence level's there.
It kind of got me to thinking of like, if LLMs are really good at the text extraction piece, and even if they get it 100% right, which I think they don't, I don't know what that is, but let's assume it's somewhere between 50 and 80% right. There's still like a long way to go to get there. But the one thing that I thought a lot about was, even if it was extracting the text, the LLM can't go back into the document and like highlight stuff for you, or it can't like finish the QC process. So I guess I wasn't sure if that was fast. It doesn't make it, probably makes it a bit faster, but then you're still going to have to go page by page and validate stuff. So maybe that's a benefit. I was trying to think of the workflow here.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Even personal feelings there, even if the LLMs were able to highlight the QC like I do normally, I'd still have a lack of confidence there, right? Until that's built up and is extremely reliable. Like Harry mentioned, like results are like, this was a great review. If they ever said that to me, then I'm probably be skeptical and go through and check everything twice, So
yeah, I responded to like somebody's comment on like post on LinkedIn, which was, did we remove a layer of software or add a new layer of software with AI?
It's interesting.
It's fair. I think until it becomes integral into our processes, I think it is going to be seen as an addition, right? An additional step. But our goal is to, it might be a brief step. However, it should save you time at the end, right? Massive time. That's what we're trying to figure out and what we're trying to solve.
What do you think, Harry? Obviously the technology chasm can be crossed, but that's totally different to the human psychology, the trust and confidence chasm. Is that crossable?
Well, it's interesting because I have friends in the industry who, they're cadets, and I've kind of, they say, oh, you're using AI in your plans. Like I tried uploading our company plans to ChatGPT and it really wasn't good. So how does that make what you're doing any different? And I think that there needs to be some sort of education on the difference between LLMs and CV and all of the different, computer vision technologies that we can use that actually make these, a hard set yes or no. It's not a guess anymore. It's not able to hallucinate. You'll be able to finish what I'm trying to say here, but what we do has a distinguishable yes or no answer if it is a call out or isn't a call out. There's no guessing. So I think there's still quite a lot of education around this to be done.
It probably goes to your previous comment, which is, could we throw the baby out with the bathwater? Because the output of LLMs is not 100% trustworthy. And therefore you just say, well, any technology related to this isn't good.
Yeah. Because I think AI has, it's all under the heading of AI, right? Like the average person doesn't understand the difference between the large language models and other techniques that fall under the umbrella of AI.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say most probably don't care, right? At the end of the day, it's just like I'm gonna use AI or not. Not is this
Absolutely.
AI have LLM or whatever? So
Yeah, I just want it to work.
yeah,
I just want
exactly.
it to work. And I
Yeah.
want it to be accurate. I want to trust it.
Mm.
So I guess what's the remedy here? Like, is it go test everything and assume that this is an opportunity to experiment? Is it wait and see, or does it just depend on the individual?
Yeah, maybe a combination, right? Even though what we're putting together, I'm still hesitant to use it myself, right? Because it's just not how I grew. It's kind of like how'd you grow up, right? I grew up with hard copies in my hand, so even migrating to fully electronic was difficult for me. So part of it is just making sure it's adoptable, right? And breaking the kind of the this is how it's always done. And I probably would look to Harry for kind of that, like how do we attract his peers, right, at your age? Because you know, when Chris and I were working together a long time ago, Bluebeam was still pretty new, and they had other, Plan Grid was, oh, we could take the plans out in the field with an iPad using Plan Grid, right? But there was still tons of hesitancy from the old time superintendents because they wanted that paper feel.
Mm.
Now, I'm going to guess, Harry, that a lot of what you see and what your peer, I don't even know if you've seen a paper set, honestly, right? That's not an insult. It's just, I think that's kind of how things are done now. I rarely see printed sets unless I walk on a job site. So,
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I think that the perception change, like in my later years of high school and when I started university, when these large language models started to become available to the public, I think that there's now a massive shift of why would I do anything manually if AI can do it better than I can? And I think that you'll start to see, and a lot of people will probably argue with me, but the art of actually caring about how this is done, like I don't see the need to really know how this is done manually if AI can take over and do it for me. And of course, knowing how to do it obviously has its benefits, but
Yeah.
there will come a time when we do not QC drawings ourselves. There might be the big root cause issues, but like it or not, AI is here to stay. And, they're already teaching us in uni how to use it to benefit us in our careers. Like it's not something that's going anywhere. And I think that that's what a lot of the older generation in construction is going to struggle with. But again, another 10, 15 years, they'll be gone. And the kids who went to primary school using ChatGPT will come through university and it will be second nature. So it's naive to think that it's not going to take over, because it will.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as for now we don't conflate that any of these LLMs are actually intelligent.
Mm. It's like a toddler.
And with the fact that it's produced a lot of really good words for us to read, back to that like dopamine kind of like dopamine LLM syndrome, which is just it's a classic methodology. They've learned this from the social medias, right? That if they can reinforce your use again by making you feel like it's trustworthy, then it's fair. And I think to your previous point, that's a probabilistic methodology. Will it get to highly accurate one day? For sure. But these are also highly generalized models. And there's a lot of other technologies that are deterministic in nature. And when these all combine together, you can produce an exceptional output that is actually trustworthy because it is deterministic. And Brian, I think you're right. Nobody gives a shit. As long as it works. And that's where the use and the trust and, that's where this starts to really change. So yeah, I love it. This is a good one. This is a really good conversation because it's so right now.
Yeah, we'll have to when we get to number 1,000 blueprint video here, we'll have to see what where we were and where we are now with AI. So
Well, hopefully we're like in a really cool like AI studio speaking to each other, as opposed to we can barely see pixelated Harry.
I was just about to say, I hope I have a better background by episode 1,000.
Yeah.
Guys, as always, I loved this conversation. It's eye-opening, and it's really important that we talk about this stuff. And yeah, thanks. I'm really looking forward to the next episode. Actually, our next released episode, I think, will be the Kyle Cuomo interview as well. So I'm excited to share that with everybody.
Right on.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers, guys. Good night, Harry. Morning, Brian.
Yeah.